Rachel Jane Nickell was a 23-year-old mother living a peaceful life in Wimbledon, South London. She was warm, gentle, and devoted to her 2-year-old son, Alex. On the morning of July 15th, 1992, Rachel took Alex and their dog Molly for a walk on Wimbledon Common, something she did almost every day. It was a bright summer morning, families were out, joggers passed by, and the common felt safe. But at around 10:30 a.m., everything changed. A passerby discovered a horrific scene. Rachel lay on the ground, brutally attacked. Her son sat beside her, crying, touching her face, trying to wake her. Rachel had been stabbed repeatedly in a frenzied assault. The brutality shocked even the most experienced detectives. Alex, just 2 years old, was unharmed physically, but emotionally shattered. He was found clinging to his mother's body, whispering, "Wake up, Mummy." The murder sent shockwaves across the UK. Wimbledon Common, a place associated with families and nature, had become the site of one of Britain's most disturbing crimes. The investigation begins. Police launched one of the largest manhunts in British history. Officers searched the common, interviewed witnesses, and collected evidence. But the killer had vanished without leaving a clear trace. No weapon, no fingerprints, no motive. Pressure mounted. The media demanded answers. The public was terrified. And detectives, desperate for a breakthrough, focused on a local man named Colin Stagg, a socially awkward loner who often walked on the common. He matched a psychological profile, but there was no physical evidence linking him to the crime. Still, police pursued him aggressively. The honey trap operation investigators launched an undercover operation known as the honey trap. A female officer, posing as a romantic interest, attempted to lure Stagg into confessing. She hinted at violent fantasies, hoping he would reveal something incriminating. But Stagg never confessed. He never admitted anything. He never described violence. He never placed himself at the scene. Despite this, he was arrested and charged with Rachel's murder. In court, the judge dismissed the case entirely, calling the police tactics deceptive, oppressive, and wholly inappropriate. Colin Stagg was innocent. The case collapsed, and the real killer remained free. Years of silence. For more than a decade, Rachel's family lived without answers. The case grew cold. The public moved on. But detectives never forgot the brutality of that morning on Wimbledon Common. In the early 2000s, advances in forensic science allowed investigators to re-examine old evidence. New DNA techniques were far more sensitive than those available in 1992. And finally, a breakthrough came. The DNA match. A partial DNA profile recovered from Rachel's clothing was tested again. This time it produced a match, not to a known offender, but to a member of a particular family. That family belonged to a man already locked away in a high-security psychiatric hospital. His name was Robert Napper. Detectives dug deeper. His height, his build, his movements, his history, everything aligned with the attack on Rachel. Forensic evidence confirmed it. After 16 years, the truth was finally uncovered. Justice at last. In 2008, Robert Napper admitted to killing Rachel Nickell, pleading guilty to manslaughter on the grounds of diminished responsibility. He confessed to being on Wimbledon Common that morning. He confessed to attacking Rachel. He confessed to leaving her son alone beside her body. Rachel's family finally had answers, but justice had been delayed for far too long. The case became a symbol of police failure, wrongful suspicion, and the devastating consequences of focusing on the wrong suspect. Colin Stagg, who had been publicly vilified, was eventually compensated, but the damage to his life was irreversible. Rachel Nickell's murder remains one of the most tragic and haunting cases in modern British history. A story of a young mother, a failed investigation, and a truth that took 16 years to uncover. You've been watching True Case Files, real crimes, real mysteries. If you want more cases like this, subscribe and let me know which story you want to see next.